Let me tell you something straight from the soul. There comes a moment in life where the noise fades, the crowds disappear, and you're left face to face with the truth. A truth you can't run from. A truth you can't silence with distractions or hide beneath ambition. And that truth is this: you don't get to rewind time. You only get to rewind time. And if you're lucky, you'll learn before it's too late. The wisdom of age doesn't scream, it whispers. It sits in rocking chairs with tired eyes and worn hands. It doesn't come from textbooks. It comes from heartbreak, from betrayal, from holding someone's hand in their final breath. You see, old folks carry the kind of wisdom this world forgets, the kind that can change your life if you're willing to listen. And if you do, you'll never walk the same, speak the same, or think the same. You'll see the world differently. You'll treat people differently. You'll value time like gold. Because once you learn these life lessons, they don't just teach you how to live, they teach you why to live. Now listen closely, this might be the message that changes everything. Time. It's that one thing you can never buy back. You can lose money and earn it again. You can fall behind in your career and catch up. You can break relationships and rebuild them, but once a moment is gone, it's gone. You blink and it's yesterday. You wake up and 10 years have passed. I've spoken to people who had everything. Fame, power, influence. And when they got to the end of their road, you know what they asked for? Not more money, not more success, just more time. One more hour with their mother. One more morning to tell someone they love them. One more minute to feel the sun on their skin. Time is sacred, but we treat it like it's disposable. We scroll through life distracted and disconnected, ignoring the seconds slipping away. You think you have forever until you don't. Until life throws something at you that makes you realize how fragile and fast it all really is. We act like we have time to waste. We put off dreams like we're guaranteed to see another sunrise. We hold grudges for months, sometimes years, as if we're promised another chance to forgive. We ignore people we love, waiting for the right time to call them, not realizing that call might be too late. You ever meet someone full of regret, someone who buried a friend or lost a loved one, with things left unsaid? It's a heavy pain, carrying that silence. The truth is, we're not promised tomorrow. We're not even promised tonight, yet we live like we're invincible, like we'll always have another chance to say what needs to be said, to do what needs to be done. That's why the people who truly understand time, they don't waste it. They protect it, they guard it like it's treasure, because it is. If you could hear the stories of the elderly, of the men and women whose bodies are tired but whose minds are full of wisdom, they would tell you the same thing. Don't wait. Don't wait to pursue that goal. Don't wait to speak from your heart. Don't wait to heal. Don't wait to live. Because life doesn't give warnings. It doesn't announce its endings. One day you're walking, dreaming, laughing, and the next everything changes. You get that phone call. You hear that diagnosis. You miss that opportunity. And in that moment, you'll realize time was never something to be managed. It was something to be honored. We keep looking ahead, chasing the next thing, forgetting that this moment is the only thing we truly own. Not tomorrow, not next year, just now. I remember hearing an old man say, "I wish I knew how short forever really was." That hit me. Because we all think we have forever, forever to chase our dreams, forever to make amends, forever to live life on our terms. But the truth, forever is just an illusion. It's not real. All we have is a certain number of days, a certain number of breaths, and none of us knows the number. So what are we doing with the time we have? Are we scrolling it away? Are we filling our days with things that drain our souls instead of feed them? Are we spending time with people who light us up, or are we wasting it in rooms where we don't belong? If you knew how little time you had left, how would you live differently? The scary thing about time is how quietly it moves. It doesn't knock, it doesn't make noise, it just slips through. You ever look back at a season of your life and wonder where it all went? High school, college, your 20s, your 30s, it all becomes a blur. Because we don't realize the value of the present until it becomes the past. And once it's the past, all we have left are memories. Some beautiful, some painful, some filled with regret. And let me tell you, the most painful memories are not the ones where you failed. They're the ones where you never tried. The missed chances, the words you never said, the love you were too afraid to give. Those are the moments that haunt you. We live like we'll live forever, but we age one heartbeat at a time. And with every heartbeat, with every tick of the clock, we get closer to the end. That's not meant to scare you. It's meant to wake you up. Because too many people are sleepwalking through life, just going through the motions, just surviving instead of living. You were not born to pay bills and die. You were not created to just exist. You were made with purpose. Your time is your life, and how you spend it, that's how you build your legacy. It's not in the big moments, it's in the daily moments, the small choices, the quiet sacrifices, the consistent pursuit of what matters. I've seen people get second chances at life, a near-death experience, a health scare, losing someone close. And do you know what changed for them? Not their wardrobe, not their job title, their mindset about time. Suddenly, every moment mattered. They laughed louder, hugged tighter, forgave quicker. They started living. Don't wait for a tragedy to teach you what time is worth. Learn it now. Decide today to honor your time like a sacred gift. Because when you do that, when you really start to see time for what it is, you stop chasing what doesn't matter. You stop stressing over people who don't value you. You stop compromising your peace for the sake of pleasing others. You become intentional with every breath. You see, people talk about success, about climbing ladders, building wealth, gaining influence. But what is success without time to enjoy it? What is wealth without time to spend with the people you love? What is influence if you never took time to rest, reflect, and be real with yourself? That's the trap. We think more means better, but more without time is nothing. You can't buy back the years you lost in toxic places. You can't go back and redo the moments you wasted worrying about things that never even matter. But what you can do, what you must do, is protect your time from this day forward. Be mindful of who you give it to. Be deliberate about what you give it for. There's an urgency that comes with understanding time. It's not panic, it's not fear, it's clarity. It's that still, deep realization that you don't want to miss what matters most. That you don't want to be so busy building a future that you forget to live in the present. That you don't want to spend your life climbing a ladder only to realize it was leaning against the wrong wall. Time teaches us that being present is more powerful than being perfect, that showing up matters more than showing off, that listening deeply means more than talking endlessly. When you live like time is sacred, you stop performing for the world and start connecting with it. So if there's someone you need to forgive, do it. If there's a dream you keep postponing, start it. If there's a place you've always wanted to go, go. If there's someone you love, tell them. Time is not waiting for you. It's not going to slow down because you're unsure or afraid. It's moving whether you move or not. And that's why you must live like every day is a chance to become who you were always meant to be. Stop looking at the clock. Become the reason your time matters. Because once you understand this, once this sinks into your spirit, you will never, ever waste another moment again. There's something the old folks know that many of us forget while we're rushing through life. People don't stay forever. No matter how strong, no matter how close, no matter how much you love them, they don't stay. One day, without warning, you'll look around and someone who's always been there won't be. Their chair will be empty. Their laugh will be a memory. Their presence will echo in rooms they used to light up. And when that happens, you don't think about the arguments. You don't think about the petty stuff. You think about all the things you didn't say. You think about how much time you thought you had left. The truth is, you don't get to hold on to people forever. You get moments. You get pieces of time. And if you're wise, you hold those pieces with everything in you. We walk around like people are permanent, like they'll always be one phone call away. We think we can ignore the message, skip the visit, cancel the dinner, and just reschedule it next week, next month, next year. But sometimes, next time never comes. Sometimes that message you put off replying to becomes the last one they ever sent. Sometimes the hug you skip becomes the one you wish you'd held a little longer. And the worst part, you don't realize the value of a person until they become a photograph. until their voice becomes a recording, until their birthday shows up and they're not here to celebrate it. That's when it hits you. People leave, not always because they want to, but because life moves that way. Death doesn't make appointments. It just arrives. I've seen strong men fall apart when they lost their fathers. Men who thought they still had time to say, "I'm proud of you," or "Thank you for raising me into the man I am." I've watched mothers bury their children, holding on to teddy bears and baby shoes, wishing they could go back and relive every bedtime story. The pain of loss changes you. It strips away your ego. It silences the noise. It makes you realize that love is not something you wait to give. It's something you pour out now while you still can. The elderly, they don't tell you to chase more money. They don't tell you to climb higher on the career ladder. They tell you to love, to sit down, to call your sister, to forgive your brother, to hold your child, because they know what it feels like to run out of time. There was a man I met once who used to sit alone in a park every Sunday, staring at the same bench. I asked him why he always came to that spot, and he told me, "My wife and I used to sit here every Sunday for 40 years. She's been gone for 5, but I still feel her here." That's the kind of love that doesn't die. That's the kind of connection that outlives the body. And yet he told me with tears in his eyes, if I could go back, I would have put the phone down more. I would have danced with her more. Even when the music was bad, I would have told her she was beautiful every single day. You see, regrets are heavy. They don't just weigh on the mind. They crush the soul. And most regrets aren't about what we did wrong. They're about what we didn't do at all. When you talk to old people, they'll tell you the greatest currency in this world isn't money, it's presence. It's being there. Not just physically, but emotionally. Really seeing someone, really hearing them, listening without the distraction of your screen, holding their hand like it matters, laughing at their jokes, even if you've heard them 100 times. That's love. Not grand gestures, not expensive gifts. It's being there in the moments that seem small. Because those moments are the ones you'll miss the most. A Sunday coffee, a late night talk, a road trip with no destination. One day, all of it will be gone. And all you'll wish is that you could go back and live it one more time. But here's what we do instead. We wait. We wait to say, "I'm sorry," because we're too stubborn. We wait to say, "I miss you," because we don't want to look weak. We wait to say, "I love you," because we think we have time. But the truth is, that delay steals everything. It robs us of connection. It builds walls where there should be bridges. And before you know it, the moment is gone and the person is gone. And all you have left is the silence of what could. The world doesn't need more prideful hearts. It needs more people willing to speak up, to show up, to love without condition. Because love delayed is love denied. And sometimes that delay lasts forever. You want to know what strength looks like? It's a man breaking down at his mother's funeral because he never told her he appreciated her sacrifices. It's a woman sitting by her father's hospital bed whispering, "I wish I had more time." That's the real weight of love. It's not found in comfort. It's found in the moments you realize just how fragile life is. And once you see that, once you feel the pain of losing someone you didn't love fully while you had the chance, it marks you. It changes the way you live. You stop playing games. You stop waiting for signs. You pick up the phone. You drive across town. You hold them tighter. Because you know now, nothing lasts forever. And let's not forget the people who leave without dying. The ones who walk out of your life and never come back. That kind of grief is different. It's not about death. It's about distance. It's about wondering what went wrong. It's about missed chances and broken connections. And sometimes the hardest thing to accept is that the version of them you loved is gone. And you don't get to have closure. But still, the same lesson applies. While you had them, did you cherish them? Did you appreciate the time you spent together? Or were you too busy being right, being busy, being distracted to see the value of what you had? So many of us spend years chasing things that don't matter, while the people who do matter are sitting right next to us, waiting to be noticed, waiting to be seen. We assume they'll be there tomorrow, and the next day, and the next. But life doesn't ask for our permission to change. One moment, everything is normal. The next, everything is upside down. And when that happens, when the people you love are suddenly out of reach, it doesn't matter how successful you are. It doesn't matter what's in your bank account. It doesn't matter how many followers you have. All that matters is how you loved and who you loved. If you've got someone in your life you care about, tell them. If you've got someone you're grateful for, show them. Don't wait until the funeral to bring flowers. Don't wait until the obituary to post a memory. Let them know now. Hug your parents. Call your grandparents. Say, I forgive you. Say, thank you. Say, I need you. Say, I love you, without holding back. Because people leave, and when they do, all you'll want is one more moment, one more smile, one more chance to say what your heart was too afraid to say before. Don't let fear or pride rob you of that. Love them while you can. Because once they're gone, they're gone. They're gone. Happiness is something that we often look for outside of ourselves. We believe that if we could just get that new car, that bigger house, that perfect relationship, or the ideal job, then we would finally be happy. We tie our sense of well-being to material possessions or external achievements, thinking that these things will fill the void within us. But the truth is, no matter how much we acquire, no matter how many goals we achieve, the emptiness often remains. It's as if there's a part of us that no material possession or external validation can ever truly satisfy. The pursuit of happiness through things is like trying to quench your thirst by drinking salt water. It only leaves you more parched. True happiness doesn't come from what we have. It comes from who we are. It comes from within. We must realize that we have the power to create our own happiness, regardless of our circumstances. The key lies in shifting our perspective and focusing on what truly matters: our thoughts, our mindset, and our inner peace. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that happiness comes from the things we can see and touch. Society constantly tells us that we need more, that we need to upgrade, that we need to be more successful to be happy. We see others getting what they want, and we start to compare ourselves, thinking that if we could only live their life, then we would finally experience the happiness we crave. But this external chase is never ending. Every time we think we've reached the destination of happiness, we find another hurdle or another item to chase. We get a new car, and then we see someone else with an even better car. We get a promotion, and then we start aiming for the next one. We think happiness is always just one step away, just one acquisition away. But the truth is, happiness isn't something that can be chased or bought. It's something that can only be cultivated from within. It's a choice that we make each and every day, no matter where we are or what we have. To truly understand that happiness comes from within, we must first come to terms with the fact that we cannot control everything around us. Life will always throw challenges our way, and there will always be things we want or things we wish were different. The key is in how we respond to those challenges. Do we let external circumstances dictate our happiness? Or do we take charge of our inner world? Happiness is not about getting everything we want. It's about finding peace and contentment with what we have right now. It's about being grateful for the present moment and learning to find joy in the simple things, like a good conversation, a beautiful sunset, or a quiet moment of reflection. When we stop looking for happiness outside of ourselves and begin to look within, we start to see that happiness is not dependent on our circumstances. It's always been inside of us, waiting to be unlocked. The most important thing to realize is that happiness is not something that can be postponed. Too often we say to ourselves, I'll be happy when I get that promotion, or I'll be happy when I finally find the right relationship. We put off our happiness thinking that it's something we can only experience in the future, once we've achieved certain things or reached certain milestones. But happiness is not a future event, it's a present one. It's something that we can choose right now, regardless of our circumstances. It's about changing our mindset and recognizing that the present moment is all we really have. The external world will continue to change, but the happiness that comes from within can remain constant if we allow it. We don't have to wait for a certain event to take place to feel happiness. We can start feeling it today by choosing to focus on what's good in our lives right now, by practicing gratitude and by being content with the present moment. Happiness also comes from acceptance. We must learn to accept ourselves as we are, flaws and all. Too often we chase after happiness by trying to be something or someone we're not. We think that if we could just change our appearance, our personality, or our circumstances, then we would finally be happy. But true happiness begins with self-acceptance. It's about loving ourselves as we are, without constantly comparing ourselves to others or trying to live up to unrealistic standards. When we accept ourselves, we open the door to inner peace and happiness. We stop fighting against ourselves and start embracing who we truly are. Happiness comes from being at peace with ourselves, with our past, and with where we are in life right now. We can choose to love ourselves even on the days when we don't feel like we measure up. And when we do, we unlock the greatest source of happiness we could ever find. Furthermore, happiness comes from a sense of purpose. We are not designed to live aimlessly, drifting from one thing to the next. Deep within us is a longing for meaning, for something that gives our lives direction and significance. When we find our purpose, whether it's in our work, our relationships, or our personal passions, we experience a profound sense of fulfillment that no material possession can give us. Purpose is the fuel that drives us, and it's the reason we can be happy even in the face of challenges. It's easy to get distracted by the noise of the world and lose sight of what truly matters. But when we align ourselves with our deeper purpose, we find a lasting sense of happiness that isn't dependent on what we own or what we achieve. It's rooted in the knowledge that we're doing something meaningful, something that is uniquely ours, and something that brings us joy. We must also recognize that happiness is not a constant state. It's not something that we can maintain at all times, no matter how hard we try. Life is full of ups and downs. And there will always be moments of sadness, frustration, and pain. But even in those moments, we have the ability to choose happiness. It's not about avoiding negative emotions or pretending everything is perfect. It's about finding balance and peace, even when things aren't going well. Happiness is not about living in a perpetual state of joy. It's about being able to navigate the highs and lows of life with grace and resilience. It's about knowing that even when we face difficulties, we have the inner strength to get through them and come out stronger on the other side. The key is not to depend on external circumstances for our happiness, but to cultivate an internal sense of peace and joy that remains steady no matter what life throws our way. Another crucial aspect of happiness is the relationships we nurture. While material things cannot bring us true happiness, the connections we share with others can greatly enhance our sense of well-being. Happiness comes from love for ourselves and love for others. It comes from the bonds we form with family, friends, and even strangers who cross our paths. When we give love freely, when we show kindness and compassion, we experience a deep sense of fulfillment that no possession can provide. Relationships give us a sense of belonging, of being seen and understood. They remind us that we are not alone in this world, and that love is the most powerful force we can experience. It's important to invest in the people who matter most to us and to cultivate a sense of community and connection in our lives. Happiness is also about learning to let go. We often hold on to things, whether it's grudges, regrets, or unmet expectations, believing that they will somehow bring us happiness. But the truth is, holding on to the past only weighs us down and keeps us stuck. Happiness comes when we learn to release the things that no longer serve us, when we let go of the need for control and embrace the flow of life. It's about trusting that everything is unfolding as it should and that we don't need to have everything figured out. Letting go frees us to experience life fully without the burden of carrying unnecessary baggage. It allows us to move forward with lightness and grace, knowing that happiness isn't tied to anything we can hold on to, but to the freedom to live fully in the present moment. Finally, we must realize that happiness is not something that is given to us, it's something that we create. It's not a gift that is handed out to those who deserve it or those who have achieved enough. Happiness is a practice, a habit, and a mindset that we cultivate over time. It's not about finding it in the external world, but about creating it within ourselves. It's about making the choice to focus on the good, to be present in the moment, to accept ourselves and others, and to pursue a life of meaning and purpose. Happiness is something that is within our control, and it starts with the decision to choose it. We must stop waiting for happiness to come to us and instead take responsibility for creating it ourselves. You don't really understand how priceless your health is until the day it's taken from you. When your back aches in ways it never used to. When the energy that carried you through long days suddenly disappears without warning. When getting out of bed feels like lifting a mountain, not just your body. That's when it hits you. Not when you're young and invincible, but when your body starts whispering warnings, then screaming them. That's when you realize health isn't a given, it's a gift. You can chase the bag, build empires, buy the nicest car on the block, but if your body breaks down, none of it matters. A hospital bed turns even the strongest into the most vulnerable. No amount of money can replace a healthy heart. No luxury home can take away the pain of disease. Your health is your foundation, your fuel, your freedom. And most people don't realize it until it's too late. We spend our youth burning the candle at both ends. Drinking too much, sleeping too little, running on caffeine and convenience. We live like there's no tomorrow until our bodies start to make us pay for yesterday. The scary part? It doesn't happen overnight. It creeps in slowly. One skipped checkup, one ignored symptom, one more late night. Then one day the doctor walks in and says words you never expected to hear. And suddenly, everything stops. All those deadlines, all those meetings, all those to-do lists, none of them matter now. The only thing on your mind is, will I get better? That's when you realize you traded your health for hustle, and the return wasn't worth it. Because the truth is, when your body is sick, your mind suffers, your spirit grows tired, and every second of life becomes a battle you never trained for. I've seen strong men crumble from illnesses they never thought would touch them. I've watched women who gave their all to others forget to take care of themselves until it was too late. We're taught to grind, to push, to succeed. But we're not taught to rest, not taught to nourish, not taught that our bodies aren't machines, they're sacred. They carry us, they speak to us, they warn us, and we ignore them like background noise until we can't anymore. Until we find ourselves sitting in hospital waiting rooms, praying for answers, bargaining with God for one more chance. And if we get that chance, we never live the same way again. Because once you've faced your fragility, once you've seen how quickly it can all fall apart, you stop taking your breath for granted. You want to know real wealth? It's walking up a flight of stairs without pain. It's waking up with energy without medication. It's holding your child in your arms without struggling to breathe. That's wealth, that's gold. But too many people chase numbers in their bank account and forget the one number that matters. Your blood pressure, your heartbeat, your oxygen level. Because those numbers will determine whether you're around to enjoy everything you work so hard for. What good is success if you're too sick to taste it? What good is retirement if you can't enjoy it? The saddest people I've ever met were the ones who had it all, but their body said no more. Their time stolen by neglect, by stress, by years of saying, I'll take care of myself later. Later never came, and they paid with time they couldn't get back. When you're healthy, you feel like you can take on the world. And that confidence fools you into thinking your body can handle anything. But the body has limits, and when you cross them, it keeps the score. Every meal you skipped, every night you stayed up, every emotion you bottled up, it all adds up. And one day it demands repayment. So why wait? Why not protect what you have now instead of repayment later? Why not eat for fuel instead of escape? Why not walk for your mind instead of scrolling through your phone? Why not make your health your first investment instead of your last regret? People spend more money trying to fix their bodies than they would have spent taking care of them in the first place. It doesn't take perfection, just awareness, just effort, just respect for the one thing you can't buy once it's gone. And let's not ignore the mental side of health. Because if your mind isn't right, nothing else will be. Stress will destroy your body faster than any fast food ever could. Anxiety will steal your sleep and leave you drained. Depression will weigh down your spirit until the light inside you feels dim. And yet we keep pretending mental health isn't health. We keep telling ourselves to push through, to man up, to smile through the pain. But unhealed trauma becomes physical illness. Suppressed emotions become chronic pain. Your mind and body are not separate. They speak to each other. And when one suffers, the other follows. So protect your peace. Say no more often. Step away from toxic people. Create space to breathe. Healing isn't just about vitamins and workouts. It's about choosing what kind of energy you allow into your life. Peace is a health plan too. I remember a man who once said, I used to pray for success. Now I pray for sleep without pain. That line stuck with me. Because we take sleep for granted until it becomes a luxury. We take mobility for granted until a wheelchair becomes our reality. We take life for granted until we're staring at death. But you don't have to wait for tragedy to wake up. You don't have to get sick to start caring. You can change right now. You can drink more water today. You can go for a walk today. You can get that checkup today. Small steps, big shifts. It's not about doing everything. It's about doing something to honor your body, your temple, the only one you've got. Because once you break it, no amount of praying, no amount of wishing will fix what years of neglect destroyed. You know what else the elders say? If you've got your health, you've got everything. It sounds simple, almost cliche, but it's the truth. You won't understand how true that is until your health is gone. Until you're fighting just to breathe, fighting just to walk, fighting just to eat. And if that day comes, you trade all your achievements just to feel normal again. So why not treat your health like the treasure it is? Why not eat to live instead of living to eat? Why not sleep like your body depends on it? Because it does. You can always make more money. You can always find another job, but you can't download a new liver. You can't upgrade your lungs. Your body is the only ride you get through this life. Don't crash it before you reach your destination. We admire those who grind 24/7, who hustle without sleep, who sacrifice everything for success. But what if we started admiring those who protect their peace, who prioritize their health, who say, no, I can't stay late. I need rest. That's not weakness, that's wisdom, that's maturity. That's someone who understands that success without health is a ticking time bomb. It's only a matter of time before it explodes. And when it does, you'll be left with memories of the grind, but not the strength to enjoy the results. Let's flip the script. Let's raise our kids to value well-being over burnout. Let's model what it means to care for ourselves, not because it's trendy, but because it's necessary. Because a strong body leads a strong life, and a healthy mind builds a peaceful legacy. So while you're chasing your dreams, remember to chase your health too. Make rest a priority. Make joy a habit. Make nutrition a practice. Don't wait for a diagnosis to value what you have now. The body that wakes you up in the morning is your greatest gift. The heart that beats without your permission, the lungs that breathe without your awareness. That's grace. That's power. And it's worth protecting. Don't take another step without gratitude. Don't take another bite without intention. Love yourself enough to care now so you're not crying later. Because the truth is simple and eternal. Health is wealth. And if you lose it, no amount of riches can buy it back. When it's all said and done, when the spotlight fades, when the applause stops, when the crowd walks away, what remains is your character. That's the real you, not the image you put online, not the version of you people celebrate when you're winning. No, your character is who you are in the dark when no one's watching. It's how you treat the janitor when the cameras aren't rolling. It's the voice you use when you're angry. It's the decision you make when no one will ever find out. That's your legacy. That's what people will remember. You can have all the talent in the world, but if your soul is rotten, your name will fade in shame. You can reach the top of the mountain, but if you crushed others on your way up, you'll find yourself alone with guilt as your only companion. Because at the end of life, people won't ask how much money you made. They'll remember how you made them feel. Character is what carries you when charm runs out. It's what speaks when your lips are silent. It's not about being perfect. It's about being real, being principled, being human. Your reputation is built in moments of choice. When someone betrays you, do you retaliate or rise above? When life tempts you to cut corners, do you cheat or stand tall? Every time you choose the hard right over the easy wrong, you're adding to your legacy. And here's the truth. People might not see it immediately. They might not applaud you for it, but over time, character shines. It becomes your armor. It becomes your name. And your name, that's your greatest asset. Your name outlives your job, outlives your body, outlives your achievements. When people say your name years after you're gone, what do you want them to feel? That's the question you need to answer now while you're still breathing. See, we live in a world where image is praised more than integrity. People will sell their soul for clout. They'll lie for followers. They'll act righteous when the cameras are rolling, but treat their own family with disrespect behind closed doors. But the truth always surfaces. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but eventually, who you are will speak louder than what you post. That's why you've got to build your life on something real, because the world can take your job. They can cancel your contract. They can forget your victories, but they can't take your character unless you hand it over. And if you hold on to it, if you protect your values, your principles, your kindness, then you've already won. Because long after the noise dies down, your character will echo in the lives you touched, in the hearts you healed, in the truth you lived. That's what legacy looks like. You want to leave something behind? Leave honesty, leave humility, leave strength of soul, because that's the kind of wealth that lives forever. No one remembers who had the biggest house on the block. No one cares who had the fanciest watch at the funeral. But people remember the one who showed up when they were hurting, the one who listened without judging, the one who held the door open when the world was slamming it shut. That's the kind of legacy that gets passed down through stories. That's the kind of name that kids speak with pride. And here's what people don't understand. It's built daily, in the little things, in how you speak to strangers, in whether you keep your word when it's hard. Your character is like a muscle. You've got to work on it constantly, not for applause, not for likes, but because your soul demands it. I've seen men rise to fame and fall overnight, not because they weren't skilled, but because they lacked discipline and humility. I've seen women with all the beauty in the world lose their influence because they forgot how to treat others with grace. Talent may open doors, but character is what keeps them open, because people don't trust the loudest voice. They trust the most consistent heart. They don't follow perfection, they follow sincerity. And the ones who leave the biggest impact are not the flashiest. They're the ones who led with integrity when no one was clapping. That's what true strength looks like. It's quiet, it's steady, it's unshakable. And in a world full of distractions and masks, character is rare, but when you find it, you never forget it. You ever notice how the elders speak about people who've passed? They don't talk about how rich they were. They say he was a good man. She was always there for everyone. He never had much, but he'd give you the shirt off his back. That's legacy. That's character. It's not built on your resume. It's built on your relationships, on your integrity, on whether you chose kindness over convenience. And the beautiful part is, it's never too late to build it. You don't need a platform. You don't need a degree. You don't need permission. You just need the willingness to grow, to admit when you're wrong, to learn from your mistakes, and to choose better every single day. That's how legacies are written. Not in ink, but in actions. I remember someone once said, your character is what you are when no one is looking. That stuck with me. Because it means your real worth isn't defined by the stage or the audience. It's defined in silence, in how you treat people who can do nothing for you, in how you respond when the pressure rises. It's in how you act when you're hurt, when you're angry, when you're tempted. That's when character shows up. That's when your true self is revealed. And here's the thing. Building character isn't glamorous. It's hard, it's slow, it's humbling. But every time you choose patience over pride, forgiveness over bitterness, truth over comfort, you grow. And you may not see it instantly, but over time, that growth becomes your greatness. One day, all that will be left of us are the memories we leave behind, not the trophies, not the promotions, but the way we loved, the way we carried ourselves, the values we lived by. So make sure your life tells a story worth remembering. Not a perfect story, but a real one. A story of someone who kept showing up, someone who stood tall in storms, someone who apologized when they were wrong, someone who inspired others just by living with honor. That's the kind of legacy that echoes through generations. It's not loud, but it's lasting. It's not trendy, but it's timeless. Because when you leave this earth, the world won't remember your Instagram bio. They'll remember your heart. So don't waste time chasing approval. Don't trade your values for popularity. Don't silence your integrity for acceptance, because in the end, you have to live with yourself. You have to face that mirror every day and ask, did I live like I believed? Did I love like I should have? Did I leave light or leave wounds? And when you build your life on character, you can answer yes with confidence, not because you were flawless, but because you were faithful. Because you stayed true to who you were, even when it cost you. And in a world of artificial everything, real stands out. Real lasts. Real leads. And real leaves behind a legacy no one can erase. There comes a point in every person's life when pain knocks on the door and makes itself at home. Maybe it's heartbreak. Maybe it's betrayal. Maybe it's loss. Deep and suffocating. Whatever form it takes, it cuts deep. It lingers. And if you're not careful, that pain will become the narrator of your life. It will shape how you think, how you trust, how you move, how you love. Pain has a voice, and if you don't silence it, it will speak lies to your soul. It will convince you that everyone is out to hurt you. It will make you see danger where there's love. It will make you guard your heart so tightly that nothing, good or bad, can reach it. That's what happens when you hold on to pain. It doesn't just sit quietly in a corner. It spreads. It grows roots. It poisons your spirit. That's why you have to let it go. Not because what happened didn't matter, but because you. The hardest part about pain is not what it does to your body, but what it does to your mind. It rewires you. It changes how you see people. It teaches you to expect the worst, to prepare for disappointment, to brace for impact even when things are calm. You stop celebrating joy because you're too scared it won't last. You hold back from love because you're afraid it'll leave. But the truth is, when pain becomes your filter, you stop seeing the world as it is and start seeing it through the lens of what broke you. And that's no way to live. That's a cage, not a life. That's survival, not freedom. And yes, I get it. Letting go is hard. It feels like betrayal. It feels like saying what they did was okay. But it's not about them. It's about you. It's about not letting what broke you become what defines you. You are not the pain. You are not the memory. You are not the wound. You are the warrior who walks through it and chooses to heal. When you carry pain too long, it becomes part of your identity. You start saying, this is just who I am. But no, that's who you became when you were hurting. That's not who you're meant to be. Pain will lie to you. It will whisper that you're unlovable, that you're not enough, that you'll never trust again. But none of that is true. The pain is loud, but your purpose is louder. And your healing, that's your responsibility. You may not have caused the wound, but it's up to you whether it keeps bleeding. And healing isn't forgetting. Healing is remembering without reliving. It's looking at the scar and knowing you survived. It's learning to speak without trembling, to feel without falling apart. And you don't have to rush. Healing takes time. But it starts the moment you decide, I deserve better than to be held hostage by my past. There's a certain type of pain that doesn't scream. It simmers. It hides beneath the surface. It comes out in silence, in short tempers, in anxiety, in distance. You think you've moved on, but it's still there, pulling strings in your life like a quiet puppeteer. It controls how you speak, how you act, how you react. That's why letting go isn't a one-time decision. It's a process, a choice you make again and again. Every time the memory shows up, you choose peace over bitterness. Every time the anger rises, you choose grace over revenge. Not because they deserve it, but because you do. You deserve to be free. You deserve to sleep without that weight on your chest. You deserve to laugh without guilt. You deserve a future that isn't stained by your past. But you can't have that if you keep letting the pain write your story. Some people never let go because they think their pain is their power, that if they hold on to it, it makes them strong. But that's not strength, that's survival. Real strength is forgiveness. Real strength is vulnerability. Real strength is saying, I'm not okay, and choosing to heal anyway. Because when you keep clinging to the pain, you're letting the person who hurt you twice. Once when it happened, and again every day you choose to carry it. That's not justice. That's self-destruction, and you deserve better. You don't have to forget. You don't have to pretend it didn't happen, but you do have to stop letting it own you, because pain will rob you of everything beautiful if you let it. It'll steal your joy, your hope, your dreams. Don't give it that power. Take your life back, take your peace back, take you back. You ever meet someone who hasn't healed from something that happened 20 years ago? You can see it in their eyes, you can hear it in their voice. The world changed, time passed, but they stayed stuck in that moment. That's what pain does. It freezes you. It traps you in a time that doesn't exist anymore. And that's the tragedy. Life kept moving, but they didn't. They missed the love. They missed the laughter. They missed the open doors, the second chances, the new beginnings. All because they were too busy staring at what broke behind them. But listen to me closely. You are not obligated to stay wounded. You are allowed to walk away from what hurts. You are allowed to outgrow the pain. You are allowed to step into a new version of yourself. One that smiles again. One that trusts again. One that loves again. But you have to choose it. Nobody can do that for you. There will be days when the pain feels fresh, even after years. A song will play. A scent will pass by. A familiar voice will echo. And suddenly you're back there, where it hurt, where it broke, where it all fell apart. That's okay. That's part of healing. Triggers don't mean you haven't healed. They mean you're still healing. And healing isn't linear, it's messy. But the key is not letting those moments pull you under. Let them pass. Breathe through them. Speak truth over them. Tell yourself, I am not who I was back then. I am stronger now. I am wiser now. I am healing now. Because every time you face the pain without letting it drown you, you take back a little more of your power. And little by little, you get lighter. Little by little, you start to feel again. Really feel. And that's when you know the pain no longer owns you. You don't have to be angry to be strong. You don't have to hold a grudge to protect yourself. You don't have to keep reliving the pain to remember the lesson. There is wisdom in release. There is courage in peace. There is power in surrender. Not surrender to the hurt, but surrender to healing. When you stop fighting the past, you start living in the present. And that's where the beauty is. That's where joy lives. That's where peace rests. But you can't hold it if your hands are full of pain. You've got to release what no longer serves you. The bitterness, the resentment, the self-blame, all of it. And it will feel unfamiliar at first, like you're losing a part of yourself. But what you're really losing is the weight that was never yours to carry. You're not losing strength, you're discovering it. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you care enough about your future not to let your past destroy it. It means you finally understand that pain doesn't disappear just because you ignore it. It disappears because you face it, you feel it, and you free it. It means you stop asking why it happened and start asking what you're going to do with it. Are you going to let it build you or break you? Are you going to let it harden your heart or deepen your compassion? That's your choice. Always has been. And when you choose to let go, really let go, you'll feel something unfamiliar. Peace. It won't be loud. It won't be flashy. It'll be quiet, steady, like a weight lifted, like a deep breath you didn't know you were holding. And in that peace, you'll find pieces of yourself that you thought were gone forever. Because at the end of the day, holding on to pain doesn't protect you, it punishes you. It keeps you stuck, it keeps you bitter, it keeps you afraid. But you were not made to live in fear. You were made to rise. You were made to overcome. You were made to love and be loved. So if the pain is still speaking, it's time to speak back. It's time to say, you don't control me anymore. You don't define me anymore. I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become. And when you say that, when you believe that, you take your life back. One breath at a time, one choice at a time, one healing moment at a time. Because pain may visit, but it doesn't have to live with you. Let it go or it will own you. But if you let it go, you'll finally be free. When we carry pain for too long, it doesn't just weigh down our hearts. It begins to shape who we are, how we think, and how we move through the world. Pain left unchecked becomes the lens we see everything through. It distorts reality, builds walls around us, and slowly steals our joy, our hope, and even our identity. But there comes a moment, a defining moment, when we must choose. We must choose whether we want to stay trapped in the past or walk boldly into the future. And that moment begins with letting go. Not forgetting, not pretending, but releasing the grip that pain has on our soul so we can breathe again, so we can live again. Letting go of the pain doesn't mean what happened didn't hurt. It doesn't mean it was fair. It means we're done giving it power. We're done allowing it to write our story. Healing doesn't come overnight. It's not clean or simple. It's a messy, ongoing journey of facing the pain, feeling it, processing it, and then making the daily decision to move forward anyway. Because you are not what broke you. You are not what hurt you. You are what survived. You are what grew. You are what healed, even when no one else knew what it cost you. We have to remember that holding on to anger, bitterness, and sorrow doesn't shield us. It sabotages us. It locks us inside our own mind and whispers lies that we're unlovable, unworthy, or broken beyond repair. But none of that is true. You are worthy of peace. You are worthy of love. You are worthy of a life that isn't ruled by the ghosts of yesterday. It's okay to grieve. It's okay to feel the weight of it all, but don't unpack there. Don't build your future in the ruins of your pain. There is more ahead. There is healing. There is restoration. There is joy that still belongs to you. So take the pain, learn from it, grow from it, but don't let it define you. You were created for more than surviving. You were created to thrive, to love deeply, to rise with strength, and to walk forward with faith. What happened to you is part of your story, but it is not your final chapter. Don't let the pain own you. Let it refine you. Let it teach you. And then let it go. Because your life is waiting on the other side of your healing. Thank you for listening. May your heart find peace. May your soul find rest. And may your spirit rise again with boldness and strength. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. Keep moving forward. God bless you.